Hi, welcome to Nino Mondo. Today, we will be unboxing our third Play and Learn bundle, A Million Dreams. And as usual, a little backstory about why we chose to name this bundle A Million Dreams. So this is the bundle which we recommend you introduce at the start of 6 months. You can of course introduce it at a later stage, but by 6 months your child has probably rolled over, understands visual signals given from you, and there's a lot of dreams they probably are already having while they're asleep. And so are you. You probably have a lot of dreams and hopes for your child by now as to how they would turn up in life, what would they become in life, and all the thoughts and confusion. So we thought it's probably appropriate to name it A Million Dreams. Let us tell you what's available in this bundle. At 6 months, your child is developing a very good palmar grasp, and this is the time for when they're also developing something called as object permanence. Object permanence is a concept which basically means that objects exist even if they're not seen. So you would notice your child becoming a little anxious if they don't see you inside, or if you're leaving and they go, "Where are you going?" So this is a good time for them to learn object permanence, and what better way to learn it with the help of our object permanence toy. This is a classic Montessori toy which teaches children the concept of object permanence. What really happens here is the child puts the ball in the hole and the ball comes out. They put it in the hole, the ball comes out. The ball actually disappears for these fraction of seconds, which in baby speak is a long time. So when they put the ball, they are not sure whether the ball is going to come out or whether they're ever going to see the ball again. But yet the ball appears in fraction of seconds. But what's happening here, even before the child can put the ball, when the child sees the ball, they would probably by 6 months of age be able to pick things up in their hand, in their grasp. They have to go through this effort of trying to locate the hole, which is spatial reasoning. They have to find the place which is this inset to drop the ball. Once they drop the ball comes out. There are these borders on the Object Permanence Box which stop the ball from going out. Because children do not apply a lot of force, the ball is not going to run away out of the ball. Even if it does, the child has to try and grasp the ball and bring it here. So there are a lot of concepts which the child is learning in their minds. There's ample amount of brain development and neural connection that's happening here. Also, because the child has to be active, this is a passive toy. There is a lot of repetition that goes on. It's a loop. And babies can sit there and play with this for long stretches of time. To teach the concept of object permanence, which will be built on with later toys from our next bundles, is an important skill for a child's social and cognitive development, especially when they are out in the open playing outdoor activities, or when they go out with you. There are some social skills that are supported when their object permanence gets strengthened over a period of time. Next in our Million Dreams bundle is our set of first puzzles. Montessori works on the concept of introducing one activity at a time, so we highly recommend not to give these puzzles together to the child. We recommend that you start with the circle puzzle. It's up to you whether you would like to introduce the big puzzle first or the small puzzle first. Because circles don't have sides, it is easy for the child to put the puzzle. Then you can move on to the bigger circle where they have to hold it and then put it. So let's imagine there is a child who's playing with one puzzle. They will pick it up. There is an effort. It's easier to pick up than to put it back. It will take some time to figure out that this circle needs to go back into this inset, which is fine because we want the child to struggle. They say in Montessori, if your child gets it in the first go, you probably introduce the material too late. And as we all know, a learning curve is extremely important. for adults as well as children, because then they understand the struggle that they have gone through, the journey that they have to go through, and the aha moment. Montessori is all about aha moment. Montessori is also about isolating the concept. So here, there is, as you can see this puzzle, there is no flashy pictures, there is no gaudy colors. It's a very simple toy, and the introduction to the concept of object fitting. So your child is going to pick it up and then put it. You can show them once, but after that, let your child figure it out. Similarly, then we move on to the triangle and the square. So from no sides, you go to two sides, wherein your child has to turn, keep turning till they figure out how to fit this shape. Similarly, for the square, they have to keep turning the shape till they figure out that the shape fits in. And then when you feel that your child has got each of these concepts, then you can bring two of these shapes together. Then you can bring in the third shape together. So you build on the knowledge that your child already has. That's the way everyone learns best, and children learn best is when you layer the knowledge upon each other. So they are able to figure out, this is how this goes, this is how the triangle fits, this is how the circle fits. And then, there are puzzles which you'll see all of them are together, but you don't really need them. At Nino Mondo, we want to ensure that parents give the right and just enough toys, which is essential for the child to learn. So these are absolutely enough for your child to understand single concepts as well as joint concepts. Moving on, we have the blocks. Now, there are 24 blocks in these, but we do not recommend introducing them all together, but it is essential that your child knows that these blocks are again being layered on. So we highly recommend that you introduce 4 blocks at a time, or even 3 blocks at a time. You don't need to give many, where the child first sees the shape in its entirety. Montessori is all about concrete knowledge. So even before they see things on paper, they have to see it. They might not know this is a rectangle. The child will not know, but they can see it in all its dimensions and beauty. They can see that this rectangle is smaller than this rectangle, is thinner than this rectangle. So their brain can make that visual discrimination of the shape. Like that, you give them a small cylinder. As you can see, the shape, the difference between these shapes. And it will take some time before your child can even start stacking them on each other, which is fine. These blocks can be played for up to 5 years of age. My 7-year-old daughter also plays with these toys, and she makes all these Roman arches and shapes. So this is a really versatile toy, and you can introduce them slowly and gradually. Moving on, we introduce the object fitting activity. This object fitting activity is different to the puzzles, which are essentially a fitting activity as well, but this is about 3D shapes. So your child will probably first take this in their hand, take it to your mouth as their cup, and then it'll take them some time to realize that this ovoid or an egg fits into this holder, and this is enough to understand the object fitting concept, and they'll keep taking this out and putting it back. This is again a two-handed play which encourages bilateral coordination, which is extremely important for the connection that has to happen between the left and right hemisphere of the brain. And again, one shape is good enough. You don't need to have the square and rectangle or the circle that comes with it. At this stage, we also introduce the concept of stacking, and we want to make it easier. We want to set up our children for success. So there is no point introducing too hard concepts too early or too easy concepts, because children get bored if concepts are easy, and if it's too hard, they'll just abandon the activity. So these are just 3 simple beechwood rings. Your child would love to put them in their mouth and just pick this up, but you can show them once on how to take the ring and put it. Because this rod is really thin and the holes of these rings are very small, it makes it easy for the child to put it. You can even start the activity by first taking the rings out, because children like to deconstruct things before they can construct. That's absolutely okay too. The idea is for them to understand the concept of spatial reasoning and realize that this is how stacking works. As you can see, all of these toys are made from natural beech wood. They're minimal in their design and color, and they focus just on one activity, developing one skill set, and they build upon each other. So this is an important activity as well, which can get started at 6 months of age. We also introduced the concept of working on a mat at this stage because your child might be sitting upright, and this is a Montessori work mat. Now, we are practicing Montessori at home, but we can adopt the principles of Montessori in a classroom. So what happens in a classroom is children do their work on a mat. You may choose to bring in a child-sized table and a chair. That's fine too, as long as your child has a space to work. And by this age, you might like to bring in something like a small coffee table or a small shelf. You don't need something fancy. I know there are Montessori shelves out there, but you don't really need that. A simple shelf or a coffee table is fine, where your child can reach the toys. And you can teach your child how to pick the activity from the shelf. This is a rolling bell from our second Play and Learn bundle called the Pride and Joy. And then you can bring it to the mat, and you can show them how to place it on the mat and take it. So this is like a desk for the child. You know, we are all grown-ups and we like to work on a desk, and it's the same for children. So even if you have a play mat, it's good to have a small contained desk which tells them that this is the frame in which they have the freedom to do the work. So it gives them defined boundaries, and when they're done playing, you can keep the toy back on the shelf and they can simply roll the mat. It will take some time for your child to get this concept, and that's why we recommend that you do it with the child and not for the child. And when you're done, you can simply keep it. Early lessons of packing and playing and packing and playing and putting away comes in. You have to start early so that the child knows that this is a resting place for the activity. So yeah, play is the work of the child, and that's why we provide that play area, a defined play area for the child to do whatever they like in that space. That's it from us for the activities in our third bundle, A Million Dreams. Feel free to check out our other Play and Learn bundles, and good luck with your journey.